really interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, really interesting how he considered the fold so heavily because people just under bluff in these $400 tournaments. It's really, really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, what are his bluffs? You know, like if we really think about it, like sure, ace high, like ace high has some showdown value if you have ace five, and when he raises the turn with maybe some backdoor diamond draw or something like that, he actually gets called. And on this kind of board, like what hands do you have that you're folding?
And it's gonna have some misdraws and things too. So I think calling is the only option myself. Let's see if Boogaloo got away from it. Ooh, call is 6.
So this is close between call.
Really interesting. So call is 6, raise is 7,500 is 10 points. And I'm going to say he said that because this is a very bad player. And so he thinks the very bad player is going to stack off here with worse queens a lot. I'm going to guarantee that's what he's going to say. Very interesting, though. I thought call for sure was the right answer. I never am in this spot. I don't know. Interesting spot, too. I think this is a little bit of a lesson for everyone out there, too. A lot of times, the hands we want to flow with, like this one, are better as raises. So this kind of falls in that category.
Yeah, and he was kind of an echo chamber for us there, saying, you know, we just get better hands to call and worse to fold.
Yep.
Like he's going to have some gut shots in his range. He's going to have spade draw. He's going to have king X. And we kind of know, I mean, we kind of identify kind of what cards are going to be bad for us on future streets, and we're aware how to proceed on those cards.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's a very good point, man. You right.
That was the best. You didn't say anything. You won. Just straight up.
You won. I'm just spewing.
All right, so ooh, look at this. You're not opening this. You just looked at this. You're not opening.
Button cut off, hijack, low jack, under the gun one. You are right.
Come on now. Okay. I am. So let's see if he.
He's got to open it, or there wouldn't be a hand.
You wouldn't
I'm
be
already
equipped.
down on points.
You're already down on points in real life. Now, obviously, you're gonna cheat, but
I'm gonna evolve.
you're gonna adapt, right?
All right, let's play it.
I'm going to cry if he says he's folding here. Like, if he's like, yeah, you should be folding this in this kind of tournament, and you were actually right. All right, cool.
Wah, wah.
Like a spot where we have
Ah!
standard.
Yes.
And the reason is because queen.
I just want to say for the record, that this is the best 3-point score I've ever gotten in my life. Because the right answer was fold.
The right. But you heard what he said about the tables. This is a 3K.
Here comes the excuses. 10
The
points
excuses
fold.
to
It says
open
right
if your
here.
table is particularly tight and weak. Welcome to the $5 2K world. I mean, you know, the $11 10K. I'm opening this, yeah, for sure.
This is the best 3 points of my life.
Oh, that's hilarious. And everybody's 50.
Nailed it. What the hell kind of play is that from King Queen? Who does that?
What the hell? Yeah, so Mad Dog.
Jonathan Little's an absolute crusher, so it's nice to have him.
Yeah, I agree, and I
Just
always love
coaching.
playing right after sessions like this because I feel like my brain's warmed up. I'm thinking through things, and so it's a good way to start your session for sure.
Right. All right, guys, this is it.
What's up, Mike? You want to give a gist? He was saying Narco Cop was playing about depipping about 28% of hands. He had been very aggressive in this $10 buy-in, and here are the options to fold, to call, to raise to 1,200, raise to... What? Wait a minute, he made it 800, and my man's giving options to 12 and 1,400 after. So it's already getting kind of spicy. That's so nasty. To be on the site with these other crushers, you know, well-known poker public figures is pretty exciting, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I didn't mention that when I was kind of giving a little intro here too. You know, Assassinato, Matt Affleck, John Little, all coaches on the site, so very highly respectable, quality poker content.
Yep, Evan Jarvis as well. You know, remember Evan Jarvis, Matt Affleck, Assassinato, John Little.
Yeah, so I guess that just makes sense. He just have the ace of clubs in his hand. That's interesting, though. I
How
thought
many
that was
points you got?
interesting.
You didn't do that bad. 45.
I like how you just pat me on the back. You didn't do that bad. Well, yeah, good job, buddy. Like,
The back.
I remember I got the higher score in the first one. So, you know, we're 1 for 1, buddy.
I just want to know.
Calling, guys. Let's see if we're good.
Similar situation. That's pre-flop? I think pre.
All right, guys, we're checking, I guess. Oh, for fuck's sakes.
One of the things I teach people when it comes to poker is when people get to the turn, they cannot finish.
When you're facing a min raise or just a touch more than a min raise, and there's an ante in play, which is going to be the case in most tournaments, I think, going forward, you want to defend pretty wide. If your opponent's making a 2.
All right, cool. You're going 1,400.
I'm going 1,400, guys.
I'm gonna go call with the arm and just see what happens.
All right, and
I would fold in game though, for the record, in case that's the winning game.
You won. You win. I have to concede. You win.
14K.
14K, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Well, no, we cannot win. This is a pretty rough spot because damn it.
Mm-hmm. Where do you gonna get my chat? They like naughty things. They like just beer, alcohol, you know.
All right, let's do I can do a $10 ACR giveaway.
$10 ACR giveaway courtesy of my man Toe. For me beating that ass heads up in this. Sorry. No, we'll do this. We'll have to do it at least once a week, man. And then, you know, we'll do it. We'll do it every week a couple times.
So it's a tie.
I guess we got to give out $10 to each other's communities. We'll just do our own $10 free roll for each. Or does that sound fair?
Yes. You know what this means.
You win. I give his chat $10. Take it.
So that's cool because we have 2 ties and then a win from you and a win from me. This is like the epic battle. It's perfect. It's great.
Yeah, we're even Stevens.
This is awesome.
Take it.
I love it.
You know,
Stop. We got a giveaway going. Let's run the giveaway for the $10 ACR winner. Closing the giveaway. Drawing the winner. My man Sebs are getting the $10 ACR giveaway for this one. What's up, guys? We're back. We're live. It's the study stream. Time to get better. We got very special guest today, SnostNLost himself, as well as Evan Jarvis. So it's going to be fun. We got sixes here, too. Welcome to the No Delay study stream. Let me come off of mute here. See if these guys can hear me. You guys still there?
Yep.
Awesome. So welcome. Evan, welcome back. Snost, good to have you, buddy.
Thank you. Thanks, sir.
Yeah, so we'll give sixes a second. For those guys in my chat, since he's being slow this morning. Welcome. No Delay study session stream for pokercoaching.com, exclamation point PC in my chat, or sixes chat if you're watching on both streams. And you can get a link to sign up for free. Well, you get 20 free quizzes, a bunch of homeworks, big blind charts for 100 big blinds or more, and a bunch of other stuff. And then you can sign up for the premium content, which has almost 900 quizzes now, a ton of homeworks. You can see right here on my screen, there's webinars by some of these great coaches, Acevedo, Jonathan. There's multiple a week. I know Matt Affleck does his on Wednesdays, and I'm not sure when Evan has his next. I'll give him a chance to promo his own stuff. So there you go. Exclamation running through the chat. For those of you guys who are new, basically this is your chance to be a chat pro. So what we'll do is we'll watch these quizzes. We'll ask you guys what you would do. It's very interactive. You should let us know what you would do. The four of us will go through and talk about what we would do, and then we'll see what the coach on the site does, and see what we make of it. And then at the end, basically we have a little competition. Generally, it's my chat versus Six's chat. Whoever's chat does a better job gets a $10 giveaway, either ACR or PayPal, whichever is most convenient for you. Sixes, you back? I think I just saw you log on.
Well, I'm sorry, I was muted. What's up, guys? What's up?
Cool. Did you hear the whole spiel?
I gave my own, and then we came in the middle of yours flow. Yeah.
Cool. The one thing I forgot is what I always forget. There's also staking opportunities. I heard Six's voice, and it reminded me that I always forget that. Sign up for the site. They pick who they're going to stake based on a few criteria. One of those being how well you do on the quizzes. And they staked a dude who was, I know it was in the UK a while back before all this craziness went down. He made it day 3, and it was an awesome experience. So you can get in on that. Cool. So like I said, special guest, Evan Jarvis and SnostNLost. Snost, you want to introduce yourself? Say a little bit about what you got going on. Promo, anything you'd like. Throw it out there.
Sure. My name's Jason Smith. I am the manager of the ACR Stormers. That's basically what I have going on. If you have any Stormer-related questions, you can hit me up at stormers@americascardroom.eu, and I'll be happy to get back to you.
Cool.
How about your little bit of poker background, man? You're a crusher.
Poker.
Don't be just. I'm a
modest.
manager now.
So I started playing full time in 2007. I started playing recreationally in 2020. I took a few months off, but we're back at it and playing a bunch. I've had a bit of success in poker for over the last 12 or 15 years. There you go.
Yeah, he's created some content for other coaching sites out there as well. He's got plenty of big scores live and online. Very good player, man, and has done some coaching in the past, helped some people out. So
I'll never forget you went on that amazing heater where you went super deep in the middle, like back to back, right?
Yeah, it was crazy.
It was amazing.
Yeah, I've had some good times. That's for sure. Positive variance has been a friend for sure.
Right on. Does Stormers have any good promos you want to talk about? I know they got the home games going on.
Yeah, we have a leaderboard going. It's like halfway through the leaderboard right now, but through the month of April, and there's some cool prizes at the top, some cool tickets and cash prizes and stuff like that. You guys should check out all the Stormers home games for that. We have 3 of those a day. So there's a noon Eastern, a 9 p.m. Eastern, and then a midnight Monday through Thursday. And then the times vary a little bit over the weekend. It's like 10 p.m. for the late night and 6 p.m. for the evening. But yeah, check out the Stormers home games and get involved in their leaderboards and that kind of thing.
Cool. Elvin. You're up.
Elvin, did you call him?
Did I say Elvin? I was.
I brought the chipmunks with me too.
That came out too fast. Sorry. It's 9 a.m. Give me a break.
It is very early. I feel your pain.
So, Evan, you weren't in Lord of the Rings, were you? You're not Elvin? What's up?
Only in my dreams. But yeah, so I'm Evan Jarvis. I'm a coach at PokerCoaching.com. I also happen to be a member of the Stormers, and I can say wholeheartedly that it's a great community to be a part of, and that Jason does a great job running the organization. I've been playing since 2004, teaching since 2008, and these days I do a little bit of playing, a little bit of content creation, and a whole lot of hosting. I've been up in my Twitch game and trying to stream 5 days a week, which it's a bit of a grind, but it's a lot of fun because you get to hang out with a lot of really good people.
Yeah.
So I personally play in the home games when I can. I try to play the noon games when I can. They're a lot of fun. The hosts usually do some giveaways too, so you guys can get in the games for free, which is pretty sweet. I'm not doing anything on the leaderboard because everyone's just too damn good, but I still get to enjoy myself when I play. And as for things going on, I have one thing on the go right now in addition to the streams. It's called the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire home game series, running on America's Card Room, where every Sunday we host a $6 entry game at 2 o'clock Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. And the winner of that goes to the grand finals, where there are 12 seats available. and that will happen on July 12th. And the payouts for the final are a $55 ticket for making it, $215 ticket for making the final table. Keep in mind 6-handed final tables. And the winner of the league, who wins qualifier and wins the final, gets a direct entry into the Venom this summer for $2,600. So that's pretty exciting. And we've done 2 weeks so far. We've got 10 more weeks to go. Next game's tomorrow, and everyone's really enjoying it. So that's what's happening.
That's a sick promotion, guys. Get in there. That sounds like fun.
Yeah. If they make the final table, I like commentate on it too, so you can get like that final table. So it's pretty sweet.
Yeah, they streamed. Somebody commentating. Be fun, man.
Yeah.
Sounds sick.
Yeah.
All right, you guys want to kick it off? You guys ready to make it happen? Start it off.
Yeah, I'm ready to get like 4 to 6 points on the day.
I know, right? Get a bunch of 2s and 1s. Yeah.
The cool thing is with you here, Evan, we're going to do more cash game content, which is good because we don't do enough of that.
But it's harder because if you're a tourney player and you do these cash game hands, like the strategy is different. So it's very forgivable if you don't get perfect scores on the cash game quizzes because it's just not your area of expertise, right?
Right.
Cool.
All right.
A couple shout outs real quick. Thank you for the ungodly resub. 28 months, Ginger. Thank you so much. Oof. And Castro, now you said it, and Snoopsack, thank you for the follows, guys. Cool. I don't know why my thing looks funky. Oh, that's why it looks funky. Cool. You want to pick a quiz number, Sixes?
Yeah, I'm starting to look through. Sadly, we don't see any Faraz. No Faraz to start, like usual. Makes me sad, but it's all right. But we do have a few new ones. It looks like we have like 7 new quizzes. So let's pick. We can start off with the Jonathan,
Sure.
Yeah, let's he's playing aces. 853. Let's do that.
853.
853.
I am ready to play it when you are, my friend.
All right, cool. Let me get my sound thing up. Okay.
Ready?
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
Here we have pocket aces. Aces are great. Facing a hijack raise from a tight aggressive player off of a 64 big blind stack. Should we fold, call, re-raise to 72,000, or re-raise to 102,000?
All right. Really
I apologize. That was probably a little low initially. All right, there we go.
We're at the back, guys. What are we doing? We got aces. We're facing a little bit more than a min raise. 75 bigs. Get your answers out there. Anybody balancing their folding range?
Just hit the fold and just see what he says. Like, you should never be. Everybody's going 72K in my chat right now. Makes a lot of sense. We generally give the chat a little bit of time to respond. Get out there, get their guesses in.
Yeah, I got 72 streaming through my chat. Drug says fold next quiz, obvious.
Does anyone like the bigger sizing here?
Matt, Yoda Cards, and Hold'em's Nuts, newest member of Team Toe, all likes 102,000.
Okay, because I'm gonna this week I'm gonna go with my heart and not try to be influenced by chat. And if I get them wrong, I don't care. But I'm going with the bigger sizing because we're deep enough, and if the guy's got something in the value range, let's build the pot up bigger. And if I'm wrong, so be it.
Yeah, so I would say this, Evan. For me, I think I like 72 a little bit more, but obviously 102 would be just fine. But yeah. 72 for me versus a range that is likely to be, one of his wider ranges being that he's in the hijack. So he's going to have a few more hands, and we don't necessarily want to just make him fold all the time. If he was in an earlier position, I'd like 102 a lot more because we're going to get him to continue more often.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, because he's got a stronger range than earlier. Here, we might be able to get him to light 4-bet light a small percentage of the time more because it's a smaller sizing. Some players behind might make a mistake because, the raise is smaller. So, I really don't mind going smaller. I'm probably going to go 72 here as well. But I like your point about 102 if their earlier position ranges are stronger and if they're like a tighter player as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Now you guys got me all kinds of conflicted. I think in game I generally go 102 myself. Like Evan said, we're just deep, and I like to push big pots when we're deep. But the range situation is definitely totally valid. 3.6x versus 2.5x.
So the nitty guys go big and the laggy guys go small.
Yeah, I guess. And
Seems
Gino
like
says
the
Collins
usual,
in the trap
right?
on the tag. I mean, generally, the good thing about him being tag is that if he's tight aggressive, he's going to have a decent hand here a lot, and we get more chips by raising, right? Versus if we're short stacked or there's like a squeeze stack behind us, where we can flat and they can potentially jam, or we can get those chips. So I don't think I would flat myself 75 blinds deep.
You're just way too likely to go multi-way, right? Like nobody's gonna squeeze behind like as often as we want when we flat aces in this spot this deep. So yeah,
Yoda
like I
says
don't
thinks
hate
102
it, but
pushes him into a push call or a call or shove scenario. You work like to get it all in pre-flop than you would with a 2.6 raise. Yeah, I mean, when we're betting 100,000, he's still got like almost 700 back, 675 back. He's got a decent amount of chips, man. All right, final answers. I guess I'm going 102.
I'm going 72.
It's 50-50 across the group. Let's see what happens.
All right, let's do it.
You are going to pretty much always want to re-raise pocket aces when you're playing relatively deep stacked, unless you can just like look and tell your opponent's going to fold to a 3-bet a lot. Now, because we have this opponent labeled as a tight aggressive player, that probably will not be the case because most tight aggressive players raise with reasonable hands to begin with. So you should have even like less fold equity than normal compared to if you were against, let's say, a loose aggressive player. So this is a very easy 3-bet to 72,000. You don't want to make it 104 because then your opponent's going to start folding out all of his marginal stuff. You'd much prefer make it 72 and then just get called a decent amount. You don't want to go really tiny like 60 because then your opponent's not really making much of a mistake by calling. So I am typically going to 3-bet here. This time I elected to call though, and I definitely do not like call. I think that 3-bet is better like the vast majority of the time. Maybe what was happening here is maybe I knew the player on the button, small blind or big blind, was just particularly maniacal against players like that. Then calling starts to gain a lot of merit, but I have no notes here, so I should be 3-betting. Small blind and big blind both call. A lot of people look at this spot and think, oh my God, this is terrible. You let them in for cheap. Well, realize that, it's fine. If they're going to call and we have pocket aces, we don't really care if they're in the pot. Obviously, we'd rather than put more money in the pot, but it is what it is. All right. It is worth mentioning we are still in this $1,500 tournament, so regular final table payouts. Spoiler alert, we're probably going to bust in this hand. Check. Tag bet 75K. So now, should we fold, call, raise to 175,000, or go all in?
Got to bring a million things off mute here. And let me rewind this back so you guys can see the scenario.
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up?
All right. I got to unmute a bunch of stuff to make sure the sound works.
Yeah, me too.
Good as well.
Cool. Red City would have gone 85 in games, split the difference. Yeah, it's close. I think that's a good size. Beat said we should have folded pre, especially with the spoiler, but that we're going to lose his hand. 135K says Yoda. Drugs agrees. Ginger agrees. Rad Dice is 175K, but don't want to go. We don't want to go to the turn multi-way. And then Bruce is flatting.
I'm flatting.
Who was
Let's
that?
see, 175. I see one call. Capital, what's up, man? He's calling. Hopefully he's going 175. So we got one call in my chat and some 175s.
What are you doing, sixes?
I know. I mean, I'm probably just calling here at this point. With still 2 players behind, I probably just call because once we come over the top of this, 175 and smaller big raised, they do have king 6, 6s, 5s. So I don't know if I really want to get in one pair four-way if we put in 175 and someone comes over the top, because I don't see myself folding if I make it 175.
But even in a single raise pot, if it goes bet raise and someone called 3 bets on the flop,
I mean, or do they have? I mean, I would definitely consider it with 70 bigs. I don't think we can go broke for 70 bigs in a $1,500 tournament.
Yeah.
In a spot like this. But if I'm going to, I don't think I want to raise fold. So I'd probably just be calling and then reevaluating. I know the board's going to run out worse. I just feel like isolate now, and then if someone comes over the top, just fold.
So here's the issue with this spot, right? Is are we raising any hands? And if the answer is yes, I assume it would be hands like sets, and then I assume we have to balance that with some flush draws and things like that, right?
Yes.
So if I don't know if sets are going to be enough combos to balance it, so we're going to have to be raising with some hands that we're not going to have any 2-pair here. So, I mean, maybe, I don't think we're flatting with 5-6 suited to an open. I mean, maybe, I guess some people are. I'm too nitty for that. I wouldn't be flatting 5-6 suited. If I was going to play it, I'd be 3-betting it. So I'm going to assume we don't have any 5-6 suited. So that means we don't have any 2-pair in our range here, in our calling range. So it's like if we're only raising sets and then flush draws, we're going to not be balanced enough on the value side. We're going to have to start raising some hands like aces. Now, I don't think we have to raise it. I don't think we have ace king in our flatting range that much, but I guess we do if we have aces sometimes. I mean, who knows? But because we played this hand so weird, this is, I don't know. You guys can tell me how awful this sounds to you, but I think because we're just over a 3x stack to pot ratio, I'm just jamming here. And this. I would jam with a bunch of flush draws, like 7-8 suited and hands like that, and all my sets, and it just like all of my raises here would be a jam because of the stack to pot ratio. So I think if I have aces with the ace of diamonds, I'm much more likely to just call. I probably mix those aces into my flatting range.
I like that.
Because obviously we're not going to get called by flush draws as often if we have the ace of diamonds. And if we don't have the ace of diamonds, I think we should just get it all in and be up against some of those flush draws that'll call it off.
Do you think 175 might be a better option just for the fact that once we bet raise, like some of the worst combos that are coming along are like maybe nut flush draws and whatnot from the small and big blind if they were to cold 4-bet? And then the rest of their combos have us crushed, so why not go 175 and then fold, just knowing their ranges are going to just be so 2-pair and set heavy, and then just a handful of nut flush draws probably, or pair and flush draws as well, or maybe some of the combos. I don't know. It just feels like when we jam, we allow the small and big blind to just play perfectly, right?
Yeah, I mean, maybe to a certain extent. Yeah, I mean the small blind is going to have very few hands here. Like, they're not going to have any 2-pair combos either in general.
Well, they're going to flat 6s and 5s and probably not squeeze.
Yeah, agreed.
And then suited. I mean, I would flat in some cases this deep, suited king 6, suited king 5. But I'm probably the exception, not the rule. So those could be in maybe this player's combo, very small frequency. So it just feels like they get to play perfectly. So all the options, maybe raise 175 and then just, God, we just have to fold like to a small and big blind raise or jam.
Well, we'd have to run it through the calculator because,
for sure.
at that point, like once we make it 175 with all the dead money in the middle, I don't know if we're gonna be. I don't know if we're gonna have little enough equity versus their range with aces to just fold it.
That's what my initial intuition was, just to go with it. Once I make it 175, it's like, man, there's gonna be like 400K, 500K in the pot or something, and we're gonna have to.
Yeah, it's like
my goodness.
All we're gonna need is like 30% equity, and it's like
if they ever have a flush draw, right?
Yeah, we're gonna be beating that, and so it's like we just end up committing ourselves anyway. So I go max fold equity with my draws, and then just try to go max value with my value. And I'm jamming, but I understand the idea of just raising too. But I like raising better than flatting without the ace of diamonds in our hand for sure.
I either raise, call, or flat, and I'm torn between the two. I mean, raise fold makes me so sad to put in
There's a lot of
175.
questions about that one. A lot of questions about
Yeah.
how could you fold here.
Yeah.
I'm so confused. And the truth answer is, generally speaking, if you're getting 75-ish bigs in pre-flop with a one pair hand, you're probably not good. Most of
Post
the time.
flop, yeah. All right. So what are you doing here, Evan? What are you thinking?
I'm calling. I'm with you sixes in that the small blind, the big blind could definitely have 6-5 suited. Maybe they're playing the suited kings, especially the big blind. Let's not forget the fives and the crazy sixes they could have.
Yep.
And our equity isn't that great against them. We're in position for the hand, so if it gets called again and a bad card comes off, we have a lot of options. We can maneuver in position. If we call and it gets raised later, we can get more information about their ranges before sticking in a ton of chips. I see the merits of, raising to 175 and forcing the blinds to define their ranges a lot more in response to that. And then maybe the opener with a pair of kings calls, and with his draws calls, and we kind of take control of the hand. But I also
Thank you, buddy.
want to avoid that dicey spot of potentially making a mistake when we raise, and if someone's jamming a combo draw or something, making an incorrect fold. So for ease, and also I think we don't necessarily need to go for stacks right off the bat. And if someone has a king, if the tag has a king, I think we're going to get the same amount of chips by just calling down as we are if we're going to raise now. So I think I like calling here and just getting more information about the other players. It's a single raise pot. We're very multi-way. Let's get them to define their hands a bit more before we commit our whole stack. Are my thoughts.
So this is definitely where I struggle. Like, my snap instinct is like, I gotta raise. Like, value, go. But like, calling has so much merit, especially multi-way. And you're right, when we raise here, we get in these really weird. I mean, that's why Snos wants to jam, just to avoid we're gonna get in weird turn spots a lot when we raise, like you said. So, yeah, calling makes a lot of sense. I actually kind of love it.
Yeah. Nit,
You're a bunch of nits.
Yeah, someone in my chat said, Evan, stop being a nit. Someone asked here, is this geared toward online or live? This is geared toward good poker, both online and live. Do you make a lot of adjustments between live? I mean, there's some bet sizing adjustments, I guess, and some tell adjustments, obviously, between live and online. But in general, I kind of feel like good poker is good poker. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, I generally agree with that. I think in live poker, more opportunities to exploit present themselves. So you're going to be playing you're going to be making exploitative decisions more often because, you're just going to have more opportunities versus the average player.
Very good. Very well said. Very well said. Cool. I think I'm caught up in chat. Are we going? We're going call, and we're going to see how good all in was. There's definitely some logic for that.
Yeah, I want to see what the scores are for each one. To be honest, I'm very curious here. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna go call. I want to call with the ace of diamonds and raise here, but yeah, I'm gonna call.
Could I make one more point really quickly?
Sure.
Yep.
I just want to say this. So a big part of like our defensive call here is because we're afraid of some monster under the bed with the guys in the blinds, and I don't really know why we're so scared they're going to wake up with like 1 or 2% of their range behind us. And yeah, when they do, we're going to be beat for sure. But the thing is this, is like 95 or more % of the time they're going to be folding. And then we're just going to be isolating the tag player who's c-betting into 4 players who has like a king X almost always. And we're going to be repping so many draws that we're just going to trap him in there with his king X, and we're going to be getting max value versus him when we get the money in. So, look, like I'll grant you that when the small blind and big blind wake up, we're effed, right? We're completely screwed. I'll give you that. But are they waking up often enough for us to not try and maximally exploit the continuation better's range and get full stack from him?
Well, I think he only calls off with like the one hand I can see him calling off 60 bigs with when we jam is like king queen. Is he really going to call off king 10 or king jacked for 60 bigs when we just rip here? I just don't know how many worse hands he calls with. with
It's kind of
one
a-
pair hands other than king queen.
It's kind
It
of
might
catch
just say
22,
fuck
like
it.
the same hands that are calling off the 60 some big jam, and also it's probably a similar percentage to the ones that are, the monsters in bed, right? There's a small chance that they have two pair or some monster combo draw, and then there's the small range that's calling us off, which is probably king queen, ace king.
Yeah, it really is just going to depend on what the hijack thinks our jamming range would be, or our raising range would be. If he thinks that our jamming range, like he's not going to give us aces in our range, right? He's not going to give us
True.
kings in our range. So if he thinks our jamming range is all sets, yeah, he's got to fold all those top pairs. But if he thinks our jamming range is comprised of mostly draws, then like he's probably going to be willing to like, all right, let's hold. Let's just hold on to our socks and see if we can't come away with a big pot here. Now, I don't know. I'm open to being wrong here, but that's just my thought on the situation.
I see what you're thinking too, where if like we're splitting our range into our really good hands and then our draws, we're more likely to take the small sizing with the really good hands and jam our draws. So you're making a play to completely deceive him in terms of what our hand actually is versus what it looks like. And if you're against someone who's capable of making a hero call and just say, oh, he's jamming the flop, that must be a draw. Versus that, it's a great play, for sure.
Controversy.
Yeah, I'm very curious. Let's click it. I got to see what happens.
Cool. Let's see what happens.
All right, let's do it.
At this point, I have the best hand almost every time. We're only losing to sets and two pairs, right? So the question here is, do I need to raise for value or protection? And I think given the hijack bet relatively large, 75 into 128, I don't need to worry so much about raising to try to make the players yet tacked, fold out random draws and whatnot. And if they do have a random draw, yeah, they're going to call, but they also may just rip it in or put in a raise, which would be fantastic because then I could just get it in. I'm trying to think if there's like any world where I fold this on the flop. I mean, I guess if it goes like all in, maybe I would fold given some weird final table payout implications, but I'm not trying to fold this. So this is one of these spots where I really should not have much of a raising range. So whenever I should not have much of a raising range, I'm pretty inclined to just call. We could also shove. Now, I think a lot of people may think shoving is just way too big, but if you think about my jamming range here, it should be a lot of draw-heavy hands, like 9-8 of diamonds, hands like that. I think those hands would certainly like to jam. They don't really want to raise small, because then if you get jammed on, you obviously have to call it off, but you're not loving it. So if I was going to raise with my draws, I definitely want to raise with some of my best hands. But I don't really want to go all in with sets, because those are in just great shape. So I want to find slightly weaker hands, which would be 6-5 and perhaps pocket aces, right? So this hand I think actually fits pretty nicely in a jamming strategy if you wanted to have one. That said, in final table scenarios, I'm probably just doing a lot of calling here because I really don't want to be the next one out or lose some sort of large pot. So I think I prefer calling in general. We do call, turn to 2, which is great. Hijack now bets 225K. All right, it's getting serious. Should we fold, call, raise to 450,000, or go all in?
That was awesome.
Yeah, and I like how he touched on the all in. It's fun when we go deep down these things, and then we listen to the video. He covers everything, all the angles that we saw, which is good. Feels good, man.
It really does. And yeah, that's a strategy. I would probably never jam. I mean, I'm not going to say never, but very rarely jam multi-way there with just aces. But he sees merit to it, and I can see it as well. Jason made some very good points.
Some great points.
Yeah.
All right, guys, what do we do now? Machine Gun, he's getting it in here. He's not messing around anymore.
What's up, Uncle Slacker? Game over. Thank you for that follow. And Slim Fit, what's up, baby? All right, what are you doing, boys? We seeing some shoves. I see a call. Is the final table. I know what I'm doing.
I mean, well, I think as played, if we're going to call the flop, then there's no reason that 2 would make us want to do anything but call. We're not worried. Like a 3 or 4 doesn't scare us. It's not like we're worried about him running into some sort of straight. His stack to pot ratio is going to make him very, like, it's going to be such a big pot for his stack size on the river that even if he checks to us, if he has a king, he's probably just check calling it off. So let's, like, if he has any bluffs, let's let him keep going. And if not, then, we can get full stacks in on the river easy. So I think call is the only play here.
Hey, you can't be giving away to chat so quickly, man. These guys got to be wrong. We got to
gotta work
toast
for
them
it.
before. Yeah, they got to work for it.
Sorry.
I have to call
sorry.
some people out. Jeez.
Sorry.
Yeah, but that
I'm
was great
sorry.
points. Kimmers is jamming, Ginger's jamming, Marlon's jamming, Yoda's jamming.
But look at that. Everybody's still. I
And
still
then
see a
there's
few
still a
shoves
bunch of
as well.
calls. D-Trip,
Somebody says fold. Noisy Mind, why you always trolling, man?
My bad. I'll try not to be so trigger happy on this next one.
No, it's all good. It's funny as hell. I see no dad's like, all right, I agree, but yeah, I want to see what the chat says. But yeah, it's funny. Let me see. We seeing calls. It's pretty mixed. I still see people jamming. Personally, I agree. We're just going to be calling here. The nice thing is, a lot of his King X range, it's pretty much going to be diamonds where he might just shut down. And he might just have some, I doubt he's bluffing, but if he has a King X, he's just going to keep betting, right? And I think our turn raise range looks pretty strong. I'm just going to be calling here. The SPR is going to be perfect on the river. He's still going to be jamming a lot on blanks. And I want to give him an opportunity to even have some bluffs and whatnot. So we're just calling.
Yeah.
Anybody? Yeah.
I mean, when we jam here, we take away any kind of bluffs he might even possibly have, right? And we're not worried about getting value from a king. We're going to get value from
I
a king
guess the
regardless.
question is, does he ever like really? I guess he does double barrel as a bluff sometimes here, but I mean, look at the size. It's a big ass size. You know, he went like 70% pot or something, or 60% pot. Is there a case to be made for jamming now, just in the event the river runs out of diamond and we don't pick up any more value from his King X?
I think that's the merit to jam. If you're going to jam, that's
If
the
you're
reason.
gonna jam, yeah, that's the reason why. Yeah, I mean, that's the pretty much only reason. So, yeah, Chad, that's what kind of case point Chad is making right now. They want to jam because if a diamond comes, we're not gonna get any more value from his King X, and his King Queens might just stack off now, right?
I think a solid tag might be good enough to make the fold, though, facing the
Sure.
turn raise here. Whereas if we just call, we're keeping our range a little bit weaker, and he can kind of value bet himself at the end, especially with the SPR being so small, as Jason said.
And then even if he does decide to go into check call mode on river, if diamonds miss or something like that, and he doesn't value bet, he might still just call it off when diamonds miss. So I think we just call. Yeah.
It's really good.
Anybody doing anything in our group outside of calling? It sounds like it's team call right now.
Team call.
Team call. All right, let's do it. Let's see. Boom.
At this point, I think either all in or a call is perfectly fine. If I call, I'm essentially saying I want to keep my opponent in with this whole range. If I jam, I'm saying that I think my opponent's range is just very strong to begin with. If you think your opponent's range is very strong to begin with, mainly a king, then you should probably go ahead and jam. If you thought there was any world where your opponent may bet here with something like king, queen, and then fold to a jam, then definitely don't jam because that hand's drawing pretty thin. And you definitely want to keep it in. At this point, I probably don't want to jam with my draws because I'm really not expecting to have a ton of fold equity. That said, if I don't expect to have a ton of fold equity, then I should probably just go ahead and rip it in with the aces, right? Either way, if I call the turn, I just know I'm not folding here. Obviously, there are some really bad rivers, like 9 of diamonds, right? But even then, if the opponent does jam, we beat some bluffs. Now, you may say, is the tag really bluffing the flop and the turn and the river into three other people on the flop and then indeed me on the turn and me on the river? And, you know, I don't know, probably not, but we have the aces, and when you have aces, you beat overplayed hands like ace, king, and king, queen. So we're definitely not folding at this point. The question is, do we just jam or do we call? And I don't think it really matters that much. It is player dependent. If you think your opponent has a king and will fold it to a jam, then definitely don't jam. And I thought that might be the case we were looking at here. So I like calling. River's a 9, so 8-7 gets there. And now the opponent shoves. Should we fold or should we call?
All right.
And I just kind of assumed that we were just going to see the end of it there. I didn't know there was going to be another.
Yeah, like it's over.
No one
should
should
just
right?
Yeah, we just snap call and just move on, right?
Yeah. Call and hope he has worse.
All right, let's just call real quick. Everybody's calling. I mean, we're not folding. We're not even debating folding here. So
I mean, Noisy Mind strongly listened to the spoiler at the beginning, and so he's saying Jonathan would never lie to us, so we must fold. And
All right, let's do it.
Folding here. Nine of diamonds would be like the worst river. This one's kind of bad. You really can't expect the opponent to have too many 8-7 combinations in the range. Probably just the 4 of them, 4 suited ones. We do lose to pocket kings and 6s and 2s though. Those are all real hands the opponent could have, given he took a polarized betting strategy on the flop and the turn. That said, he could also just have ace king. So think about this from a math point of view, right? In this scenario, you have to put in 500 to win 1.7 total. So we need to win like 30-ish% of the time. So we need 30% of our opponent's range to be bluffs and or overvalued hands. So let's just look at these straight overvalued hands like ace king. There are 2 aces and 3 kings left. So that's 6 combinations, right, of ace king only that he would probably play this way. And if we compare that to king, 6s, and 5s, there's 9 of those plus 4 8-7s. There's 4 of those, so there's 13. So we have 13 to 6. Right there is a 2-to-1 ratio. And then if our opponent's ever bluffing with any busted diamond draw, ace queen, ace jack, ace 10, ace 9, queen jack, jack 10, etc., then the call starts to become really, really good. Maybe the opponent's also jamming king queen, right? Then we have a lot more combinations. We have 12 of those. As you see, there's just a lot of hands that conceivably could overvalue. I'm not saying they will, but they at least could. Obviously, you could have king 9, maybe. Could have 6-5, maybe. But this is certainly not a great spot on the river, but I still think it's just going to be a pretty easy call in most scenarios, especially when we don't block the busted ace-high flush draw. If we had ace of diamonds in my hand, I actually think this is way closer to a fold, because then we block the majority of the ace of diamond bluffs. But even then, a lot of people won't take the ace of diamonds and bluff it because they can just check, and then it goes check sometimes, and they beat my busted draws. So anyway, look, I'm not folding here. You all know me. I typically don't make big folds. Someone told me the other day, oh, if you're not making big folds, you're just making a big mistake because people never bluff. And maybe it's true. Then again, I've had a lot of success based on making my range look way weaker than it is and then not folding. So anyway, I'm calling. We do call, and I remember this hand. I did not input it, apparently, because I was unhappy as I input it. The guy had pocket kings, and clearly we're just on the hook for a pile here. I do actually remember sitting here and thinking, like, this guy probably just isn't bluffing me. But the problem is when they're just not bluffing you, they're going to show up with ace-king some portion of the time and king-queen some portion of the time, and that's enough. This reminds me of a hand I played in the World Series main event where I had kings, and I was just like really convinced the guy had aces. And I'm like, I'm getting like 3-to-1 pot odds on the flop or something. So I just called it off. The guy had queens. He just thought he had the nuts, so queens. Like raised under the gun, 4-bet it. Just like jammed all in on the flop. I'm like, yeah, this guy just has aces. But he didn't. He had queens. And this time, well, the guy had the set. So we got down to a very short stack. I actually outlasted one other player, I remember, and we got a payout jump, and then I lost shortly after that. So not a bad run. I think I took like 8th place in this tournament, but certainly this hand could have gone differently. Either way, though, we're losing our stack.
Cooler.
Yeah, so we lost playing it this way, and Snos lost with the jam on the flop. We all lost.
Snosh jammed into the nuts under the flop. Sounds about standard for a recreational player. Well played.
Oh, well said. Well said.
Cool, that was a good one because you think aces is going to be easy, and we went pretty damn deep on that one.
Yeah, that was very good. I love all the different input and lines of thought and strategy talk. It was awesome. All right, anybody else want to pick one? We can do cash. We can mix in cash. We got tournaments. We got time. Let's do it, baby.
One thing I want to get to at some point, we don't have to do it right now, but Lexi's got a new tournament one, and we don't do a lot of Lexi, so just be fun to switch it up with a different coach.
Oh, she's got the ladies event in. Let's just do it. Let's go. Let's do it.
852.
Yep. Yes, sir.
I'm not allowed to vote on this one. I've already done it, but I will silently sweat and giggle if you guys get any wrong. But I think you guys are gonna nail this one.
Evan was getting warmed up before the stream, it looks like, and taking some of these quizzes.
I've been going through the Mastering GTO on Short Stacks course through this week, and man, just every time I watch a video from Jonathan, I'm like, what a great teacher he is. And it's my first time watching Michael Acevedo's stuff.
Huh.
That dude is a wizard.
I watched a little video of his yesterday as well, actually. He is a wizard. He's just walking Pio. He just He just literally is walking by him.
Yeah, and
It's
he's
crazy.
just God moding it. You're like, wait, you can do what? And he's just like, yeah, you just go over here and then range explore and then this. You're like, I need to know how to do what he's doing.
And then understand what the hell it's telling me at the same time.
And he's got like 100 ranges or like two. He's like, yeah, so 12 big blind open, and in the big blind we have 13.5. Yeah, there's a range for that. This is what it looks like.
That's funny. All right, guys. Do Lexi let's go. Let's run this one. You ready, Sixes?
Oh, he's already in.
He's already playing it?
He's at the first decision point.
Son of a bitch. I'll be right back. It's only 47 seconds.
And today I'm going to talk to you about a hand that I played at this last year's ladies event at the World Series of Poker. I actually wound up final tabling it. I busted in 6th place, so I had a bunch of fun hands to go over. So let's jump right into the action. The blinds are 400, 800 with an 800 ante. It folds to the low jack, who is a solid female player. She's starting the hand with about 48K, so she has roughly 60 big blinds. So we are in the cutoff with a nice suited connector, 9-8 suited. So what should we do? Should we fold, call, or raise to 5,000?
All right.
Was that one ungodly low for you?
It was super low. I muted everything to try to help with the sound. So that's why I was.
It's all these non-streamer video creators who don't, project their voice. Cool.
So we're gonna have to struggle with the sound a little bit, guys, but we'll do the best we can. My bad.
You guys can always give them the highlights. Just translate the main points.
Yeah, I mean, we can just translate. Women's event. She got 6th in this. I don't know if she had much other detail from the low jack other than she was just solid. Not much other information on the table. But yeah, what are we doing here, guys, with the 9-8 suited? 3-betting, raising 5K, folding, 100 bigs deep. Where we at?
Can I, am I allowed to go rogue a little?
Yeah.
Always.
Okay, so, I mean, I'm definitely going to be 3-betting here, for sure, but I'm also going to be 3-betting much larger than 5K. I would go like 3.2 to 3.7x, somewhere in that range, being this deep stacked, but yeah, I mean, I definitely going to 3-bet over call or fold, for sure.
Do you ever flat your, middling suited connectors? Because when the 5-6 suited hand came up, you kind of said the same thing, when you play, you're always 3-betting.
I mean, sometimes I'll just complete the big blind with those type of hands, but in general, I mean, it depends on the stack depths too. Sometimes I think calling on the button can be okay with hands like that when your 3-bet will commit you to an early position raise and there's a bunch of people in the pot. Mm-hmm. I think just calling on the button is fine in spots like that. Mm-hmm. But no, in general, especially if I'm not on the button or not in the big blind, I mean, I guess here's a little secret to the way I play poker is I'm flatting very rarely with any of my hands. They're almost, if I'm going to be entering a pot that's already been raised from the cutoff or earlier, I'm going to be 3-betting it almost always. Occasionally I'll have some flats, but it's I would say 90% of my range would be 3-bets.
Yeah, I'm all over the place. Yeah, I'm definitely flatting sometimes because it's nice to be able to flat if a bad player opens and we have another bad player in the big blind or if a decent player opens and we have a bad player in the big blind who overcalls and plays poorly out of position in the big blind. So I do find spots to flat a little bit more, and I would consider it here because I really don't like going 5K, and I 100% agree. 100 big blinds deep, I would certainly want to go bigger, 3.54x even. This deep, if I am 3-betting, I'm probably not going 5K. But, I can certainly get behind either option.
Juan says you don't want to call and give a great price for the blinds to come along. I think for this type of hand, that's kind of what you want. You want to get a little multi-way pot going with this hand.
I mean, your EV is probably going to be higher when we 3-bet it and get to play it in position, right? Mm-hmm. Playing a 3-bet pot in position. What it is, Alex say it's like pitching in baseball up in the 2-0 count, right?
Yep.
So, yeah.
Don't like 3-bet. I don't want to have to fold this pre if there's a 4-bet. Why? It's 9 high.
Yeah.
Marlon likes 5K. When we're deep, we should. What am I going? I'm probably going like 7 myself.
I
7.
think that's a
count.
I think that's a really good point that comes up. That was just in your chat, Toe. When people say they don't want to have to fold the hand pre-flop if it gets 4-bet. I mean, how often do you think you actually even flop a draw in the first place? That it's the end of the world to have to fold a suited connector.
Especially a 9 high one too, right? Like it's not like we have king queen suited or something sexy like that.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. I mean, we were talking about never flatting when there's a razor front. Like that's the reason why I do a lot of flatting with hands like king queen suited, queen jack suited, things like that, because I don't want to get 4-bet off such a pretty sexy.
Yeah, and I think the bigger the suited connector, the more you like the flat because you cooler the weaker suited connectors.
Fair.
With the king queen suited, you bring in the 9-8 suited. In the extremely rare cases, you may over flush them or over straight them, but the 9-8 suited doesn't cooler too many of the other suited connectors.
No.
And the lower you go, the less it happens. So the more benefit there is to 3-betting it and knocking out those other dominating suited connectors that may overcall but won't cold call a 3-bet.
Ooh, good point.
Very good point.
Us nits have to think about all the domination and dramination in 100% situations. So
I want to make this point though really quickly on the getting 4-bet and having to fold these hands sort of argument, right? I know that's like a fear that comes up in everybody whenever they 3-bet. It's always like, do I want to 3-bet this hand? And then you go straight to the worst case scenario. But again, we're talking about monsters under the bed. I mean, I don't know what games you guys are playing on in the current online poker climate, but you're not getting 4-bet. And this is coming from a guy over my last 500,000 hands who's 3-betting at like an 11.5% clip, like overall from all positions combined. You're not getting 4-bet enough. You're just not. So like the times you are getting 4-bet, you're getting 4-bet by very strong hands, mostly. You can just go ahead and fold those hands because you're up against a monster, so it's fine.
Yep.
Your aggression gets them to turn their hand face up, so it's just easy to play, right? Pretty much.
and you were only going to crack that monster 20% of the time, which means you were not going to crack it 80% of the time. So it's not the end of the world to let go of a hand that was losing 4 out of 5 times.
Right.
Cool.
All right, let's do it.
So we're 3-betting to 7,000, right? Just
yeah, that was the
That's ideal.
Evan, were you 3-betting this as well?
Yeah. We called the other day, and that was just wrong. I mean,
It's 3-bet.
we're 3-betting. You want it in position, put the pressure on. It's a good hand to balance the big value range with.
Agreed.
Cool.
All right, 3-bet time. Mute time. All right.
Folding a score of
That's gonna be really low.
I definitely don't like folding here. We have a nice suited connector in position, and we are roughly 100 big blinds effective, so we have some more playability. So folding is just out of the question. Calling, I gave 7 points. You can call here sometimes, but I think I prefer applying pressure. So I gave raise to 5,000 a score of 10 points. Because of the fact that she is 60 big blinds effective, we can get away with a bit of a smaller 3-bet. If she were, say, 100 big blinds, I'd go at least 3x. So I think anywhere between 5,000, 5,500 is a good sizing. I probably would have gone for 5,500 just because we do want that extra bit of fold equity. So, but we go 5,000. Button folds, small blind folds, everyone folds, and she calls. So the flop is ace of diamonds, 6 of clubs, 5 of hearts. She checks to us, and what should we do? Should we check, bet 4,500, or bet 7,500?
All right, guys. Sum it up. Basically, she said we have way too much value or equity to fold, rather, and she likes raising to put the pressure on in position, like we were saying.
It was really low.
It's simple. I have to have my speakers pumped all the way up, and I put my ear to it, so it's low for us as well.
Yeah, I can barely hear it. Sheesh.
We'll send a memo to Lexi. Get her to project.
Yeah. Yes.
It's probably more her settings, just that the volume is not cranked up enough.
Could be.
Because when it's her first time recording a quiz, she has nothing to compare it to in terms of volume, so she doesn't realize how low it is.
Right.
Sure. We all can't be content creators, right, Evan?
No, it's hard out here as a
It's hard
content
out
creator.
All right, cool, guys. So that's basically the deal. She checks to us, which is a good situation, right? She
I'm seeing
counts a lot of
7.5K, 7.5Ks everywhere in my chat. Few 7.5Ks.
2/3 pot is what I am seeing, which looks like 7.5K to me. It was low on the PC side as well.
I don't want to give it away. Let's get a couple more. So far, I haven't
Going
seen
format.
anything but 7.5K in mine.
I want to do whatever Jason's doing.
We got 60 people out there and like 4 answers, guys. What are you doing? Get out there. While we're doing that, I'm going to do a couple shout outs. Give them a second here. Jeff, thank you for the 34 months. Grind Fox, Artemis Prime. There we go. MGM3385, thank you for the follow. You ever wonder, like, somehow these screen names are just so hard? I'm terrible at figuring out screen names. I'm such a noob. 35, 4.5, 4.5. Good shot repping the strong ace 3-bet. Yeah.
Yeah, I know what I'm doing here.
Well, we have to bet, right? They're
easy.
tapped, so I'm betting twice, and that's just the end of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think we should probably go 4.5K here. We use a third pot C-bet size. We still have equity. Our range is going to be very strong. We have a lot of ace-X and whatnot. Yeah, I don't think we need to go 7.5K here. If they have an ace, they're just going to continue no matter what size, and then they're just going to be folding all the junk hands. So 4.5K is going to accomplish the same thing as 7.5K. And if we do get floated by something, a pair or better, we have equity with the gut shot. So 4.5 for me.
Trip CB, thank you for the follow. Yeah, I'm the same, and like I said before, I kind of give it away. Like, I know that I'm going to double this a lot, and so because I'm going to do that, I'm going to go small here and bigger on the turn myself. And when he checks back the ace-high flop, he's got a capped range, like we were saying. He shouldn't have too much ace-X.
Well, he's not going to lead into us even if he has an ace-X. He can certainly call our 3-bet with ace-queen, ace-jack, right? He can certainly ace-jack, ace-10.
But he's
going to call with ace-5 if he doesn't 4-bet. So he can have those hands.
You're right.
I don't think specifically capped. He just doesn't have ace-king as much. Some people do even flat that.
You're right.
So we both have strong range.
That we flatted, but you're right. He did 3-bet, but I still think we need to follow through.
Yeah, I mean, I do think we c-bet here and then follow through a lot. But I just don't see the reason to use a big size right now. That's kind of where I'm at.
I agree with what both of you guys are saying. Like, I would say this. I think 4,500 should be like the largest bet we're making here, but we definitely should be betting. I would probably even go smaller personally and go like more like a quarter pot, just because, like Toe said, this is like a mandatory double barrel spot if we get checked to again on the turn. And so that way it does allow us a little bit more fold equity and a little less commitment to the pot as a whole. We go on the larger side, and then we have to go again larger on the turn. It's just like, man, we're committing so many chips with just no equity. So yeah. I definitely think 7,500 would be pretty big mistake, and 4,500 is definitely going to be like the highest version of a c-bet for me.
Same here, and it's nice when you use a smaller sizing here. It's okay because they don't still only continue with their ace-X, and when they continue wider, that means when we double barrel, we get more folds as well. Like maybe he'll just had called here with 10s or something like that, or 9,
or even 7s, like that.
7s or something like that, and he just feels like he has to call once king queen of hearts or something like that. And then they just feel like for such a cheap price they're going to continue, and then they're going to fold a lot on turn. So
Tom Price says, reason I 2/3 pot bet is because Alex taught me to c-bet large on wet boards. I would argue that this is not the wettest board in the world.
Tony.
Yeah, this is a dry board for sure.
Pretty small, pretty dry.
Especially versus the perceived range of somebody who's opening and calling a 3-bet. They're not really flopping a lot of straight draws here.
No. Oh, it's got a great one. I traded my wife for rolls. Thank you for the follow. Screen name of the day. Mike Cash, thank you for the host. That's awesome. It's the greatest screen name ever.
That's a good one.
Oh, man.
All right, cool. So we're betting 4,500. Ready to go.
Let's do it. Yep.
I gave checking a score of 3 points. I definitely don't like checking here. We flopped a gut shot to the nuts straight, and we have no showdown value with our 9 highs, so we definitely want to continue the aggression and apply pressure here. So now it's just a matter of sizing. So I gave betting 4,500 a score of 10 points. I think this is a good sizing. It's a relatively dry texture, and I think going anywhere between 30 and 40% pot is good. She's going to have a lot of hands here that completely brick, so there's no reason for us to put more money in the pot than we need to. Like if she had a hand like King Jack, I don't think she's going to be floating the flop. And if she does have a hand that she can continue with, like pocket tens or pocket eights or something, then she is going to be calling the flop to a C bet most likely. So there's no reason to risk more chips than we have to. There aren't too many hands that I think we would have to worry about being check raised, so you don't have to worry about going too small, because I don't think she's going to be check raising a hand like pocket tens or eight or sevens or something. So we do elect to go 4,500, and she calls, and now the turn is a 6 of diamonds. She checks. What should we do? Should we check, bet 8,000, or bet 16,000?
Ooh, hold on. All right, I'm muted. Let's go.
All right, cool. So yeah, I mean, we kind of gave this away when we were talking about the flop. Like, this is definitely a card I'm going to double barrel. Put a ton of pressure on things like jacks, kings, queens, sevens, eights, nines, tens, and then all those random floats that are still beating us, like the king, queen of clubs, king, queen of hearts.
Right. I mean, he still just has a handful of pairs that would continue for a small bet. And then he certainly does. I mean, she certainly may have some backdoor draws as well that may continue. We're never making an ace fold. And I mean, I'm not going to say never, but it's going to be pretty difficult to make an ace fold. So, yeah, let's see what the chat says. I'm not going to give it away. What do you guys like in this spot?
Right? We're targeting everything but an ace for the most part.
Right. Yeah. So I see a 16K right off the bat.
Me too.
Remember they got 38.5 in their stack. So what's up, Mike Cash? SPR getting close. Good
16K,
point down there.
16K.
Bet 8K since you bet 4K on the flop.
Brad Dad says 8K. Jeff Gem giving up and checking, even though we talked
Any
all
merit
about
for
double
checking
barreling.
back?
So is Ian. So is Ginger. That's a fact.
What are those guys doing?
All checking. Booth Tillman checking.
Whoa.
Personally, I think 16, I would like 16 if we were deep, if they were as deep as we are.
Right.
Given that they are 38 and 16 is half their stack. I mean, I honestly would go a little bigger than 8, but I think 8 is probably the way I'm going to go given these options myself. Ian says maybe even check raise the river, because we're in position here, Ian. 8K for drugs, 16K for poker toots. Get weaker A's to fold. I don't think A's are ever folding.
What's up, Boo?
So, and I'm not really talking aces, right? We're targeting all of the random overcard floats that had backdoor flush draws, and then pairs between sevens and kings. Awkward stack to pot ratio, indeed. Shamrock. What do you think, sixes?
I mean, yeah, just if we're gonna bet, we should just go 8K. The range that continues, if they have an ace, they're gonna continue inelastically to any bet size, I would say. And if the double barrel should be folding out all the under pairs and floats at this point, we still have some equity. We're not gonna win with 9 high. We should be betting if we feel like opponents not just playing ABC fit or fold and only calling with an ace. But yeah, I think we just bet 8K and then give up rivers if they call. Again, honestly.
Yeah, 11.5 and 12K were coming up in the chat as good options. I think that's a decent size as well.
I think so. I'll jump in here. I think so. It's funny because I said I agreed with Toe in the beginning that it's basically always it's going to be a mandatory double barrel, but what I didn't consider at that point, and now I'm thinking about, is that if I'm being honest, generally in game, I'm double barreling this almost always, except for when the board pairs. So now the board's paired, and it makes his 2-pair hands a little bit stronger. And we don't want to overbet and bet 16K here because, I mean, we're just going to be putting way too many chips in. But if we bet 8K, are we really? I mean, maybe they decide to call because now they have 2-pair hands, and the pot is really big compared to their stack size. I don't know, man. On this,
You almost want to give up?
So I just I think in general. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be really corny right now and say if I was playing this, I would check, but I'm gonna hedge and say I think she's gonna say bet 8K. So that way I get to be right 2/3 of the time.
There you go.
But but honestly, if I'm being completely honest, I personally, on an A6 or 5 turn check here, on every other turn I bet again. So that's where I'm at.
That's interesting because I would check an ace, but I like to bet when the middling cards pair because I feel like when I bet twice on this board, when they do have those pairs between 7s and kings, they're like, well, shit, now it's 6 paired. So he's betting twice. He's going to have a 6. He's going to have an ace. He's going to have something like that, right? Because he's betting twice. And they're more likely to fold versus like if the ace pairs, pair jacks are never folding, right? It's like I have less aces now. So I like to bet when the middling cards pair myself.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really afraid of them. I know what your argument is, like, their pairs are going to feel more compelled. And it's not a bad thing when pockets, I mean, it's not the end of the world if pocket 7s continue, although we lose our gut shot equity because they make full houses. We still have, 2 overs to that.
Just as if you bet 8K and get check raised, snap fold, right?
Like, yeah, it's not a big deal. Who cares? Just instantly throw your hand in the muck.
7 in a prayer.
Yeah.
Throw it in the muck like a boss.
Yeah, just that muck.
You pull an assassinata, right? You glare at the dealer, drink your Red Bull, and throw it in the muck.
Yeah, I think 8K it is for me. Yeah, I'm going to be over double barreling here, but that's what I do. So let's do it.
Ooh.
Jason's just.
10 points, bet 8,000 to score 5 points, and bet 16,000 to score 2 points. So I think checking is the best option here. I think that the 6 of diamonds, which is now, paired board on the turn, is just a really bad card for us. She's going to be less inclined to fold to another straight with a hand like pocket 7s or any other pair. And she's going to have a lot of ace-x combinations in her range as well. So I think this is just one of those spots where you have to just kind of give up and hope to hit your 4-outer on the river. It's great. But if we are going to bet, I think betting 8,000 is better than betting 16,000. In the event she did float the flop with some kind of backdoor Broadway combination, she's going to be folding the turn most likely. So again, we don't want to risk too many chips. And if she does have a hand like a pair, she's probably going to be calling one more straight. So therefore, and she'll probably call either the 8,000 or the 16,000. So it kind of doesn't really make a difference. So I think we should just try and risk less chips. But checking is, I think, by far the best option. So we decide to check. And the river is a 7 of clubs, and she leaves out 13,500. So what should we do? Should we fold, call, or go all in?
Bink.
So,
well done, Jason.
Yeah, she basically pretty much echoed Jason's thoughts. I mean, for the most part.
Yeah, and I mean, she even thought he would be continuing with pairs and whatnot as well. Even to the 8 or 16, she thought she would still call some of the 10s and whatnot. She has a lot of ace-x when she calls a 3-bet and a c-bet. She just has enough ace-x in her range. She probably folds out more of those floats and underpairs than we think on the flop on an ace-high board. Mm-hmm. Probably not as sticky as we would be. But yeah, that makes sense. That's okay.
And we beat the 7. Everyone in mind saying jam except for...
Oh no, even red deck. Everyone jamming here.
I mean, yeah.
I have some thoughts. Kimmers is jamming. What's up, Kimmers? Good to see you. Good morning. I missed saying hi to you earlier. Good afternoon for the East Coast. I have thoughts. I'm just kind of waiting for chat.
Okay. Uncle Slacker is calling. Jam. I see a jam. Still one double up away. Where do I win? Yeah. Jam and call in my chat right now. So like 50-50.
Matt says jam.
Don't be shy,
moves to
boys.
ace 6, 6, 5, and 6, 7. Pretty small range. Jam is missed value town. Or aces, 5s, 7s. I just wonder if we check raise, or I'm sorry, if we 3-bet pre, C-bet flop, check turn, and then jam over the lead on the river, what bluffs do we have? Right? Like,
I mean, it doesn't matter.
So
I think they
hard to get
just
called.
overvalue. I think people just still can feel comfortable overvaluing, like at this point, ace jack, ace queen, which is very possible that you might call, not check raise flop with ace queen, not check raise flop with ace jack, not 4-bet those hands pre-flop. So they might just be comfortable maybe stacking off or making a bad call off, overvaluing hand on river. I don't see how we don't jam.
This is a solid female. So I guess give me a bluff, or give me some sort of. I mean, what hands are you doing this with? You know what I mean? Like,
so you're thinking there's a chance, like
I'm just thinking like if you have pocket jacks and you bet flop check turn and then jam when I bet river with pocket jacks, like I'm probably bet folding. Like what the hell?
I know you're looking at it through the lens of like, wow, our range looks really fucking strong.
Yeah. So
but,
what are you jamming on? What are you jamming with? The Miss Diamonds? Like,
I mean, this player could have ace 7 of spades, you know, and just feel like they might have counterfeited a worse ace that might be trying to force them off a chop or something like that. I don't know. I just feel like they can just still call off with worse. And the SPR, there's just gonna be so much in the pot. I think it's just too good a hand when we get there to not jam. But I could be wrong.
I think it's also important to remember the psychological factors that humans are very curious creatures, and especially the bigger the pot is, the more curious they are. And even if she is going to have a hard time finding bluffs in her range, she might say, well, I'm getting close to 2-1 on the river call. There's 50,000 out, 75,000 out there after the raise. It's 25K more. And a lot of times when people get in those moments with big pots, their emotions can just get the better of them and say, screw this other girl. I'm not going to let her bluff me out of this hand. And it's hard for people to make the big folds in the moment, I find.
Yeah, I totally understand where you're coming from, though, Jared, and thinking about like, oh man, what bluffs do we have and all of that. Like, it's something. It's definitely something that like I would be thinking about in that situation too. But also, I mean, I do completely agree with everything Sixes and Evan just said, because you know she's sticking 13 of her 25 in right now, right?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just like, I mean, you have to be in some like crazy nosebleed meta situation where you're like, I'm gonna hang on to these 4 blinds or whatever it is she's gonna have left.
Oh no, Jason, it's she's putting 13 of 38.
Oh, it's not 13 of 25.
There's 25 behind.
Yeah.
Oh, it's 25K behind.
Well, it makes it a little bit more.
Got 30 behind. 30 minutes.
Okay. It definitely makes it a little bit more reasonable to consider just calling. But that said, I mean, with how big this pot is, I still think exploitatively we don't have to have any bluffs here, and we can still get them to just like, aw shucks, fuck it, and call with hands like ace jack and ace 10 and stuff like that.
You got crazy.
Exactly.
Like I would think like if I was here with ace jack, I'm like, what goes bet check bet and bet check jam here? Like ace queen, does that check turn then jam? Like there's no hands. Like I guess what you're saying is I need to move up to the 25Ks. Because if I bet this with an ace and you jam, like I'm snap folding. Because I can't find a bluff.
Well, yeah, but I think you versus me in that situation is a little bit different with the amount of hands we played each other over the years. I think, like, you know, it's a solid player, but like solid players are still going to make emotionally bad decisions when they've overcommitted themselves in a spot, you know?
I could be projecting.
Agreed. Yes.
You guys heard it here. This year, WSFP, I'm playing the one drop. Selling action, 1.2. All you guys
No.
out there.
1.2 to the one
Oh,
drop.
why not 1.4? I mean, you may as well. Go
That's
get
true.
it, kid.
That's true.
Go get
Shoot for the stars, land on the moon.
I'm going to step away for 60 seconds and grab a drink. I'll be right back.
No worries.
No
I mean,
problem.
I see all the arguments for jamming. I just think myself, if I bet here with an ace and you jammed, I'm like, snap, out of there. Ace king.
So you think you're only getting called
folding
by
ace king 'cause I
better.
think you flat ace queen. I think you flat ace queen. I think you flat ace 10. You flat ace jack. If you know, if I'm in
Sounds like
solid
we
three
should
man's
run a lot
position.
more bluffs against Toe.
Yeah.
We should just bluff raise range on the river for hand
Should.
against Toe and see what happens.
bet check jam these weird ass boards for sure. All right.
All right. All in.
Ah, look at that. I sold 30%. Cool. I mean, I don't know. I guess I'm gonna go call because that's what I would do.
Hey, he's calling, boys.
Let's
We're
do it.
jamming. Let's
I
get
get the
paid.
jam, though. I totally.
Let's get paid.
All right.
All right. Bang.
So you folding
Easy money.
the nuts straight, so we're definitely never folding here. I gave calling a score of 6 points and going all in a score of 10 points. Now I know it can seem scary because there are full houses, on the board, but I was trying to think of how many bolts she actually has in her range, and she doesn't really have that many. I don't think that she's calling a 3-bet pre-flop with ace 6. She maybe could have 5-6 suited. She doesn't really have any other 6x combinations. Like, I don't think she's opening hands up like queen 6 or king 6 in a low jack. And if she were opening a hand like 6-8 suited or 6-4 suited, I doubt she'd be calling a 3-bet to that pre-flop. So I don't think we have too many bolts to worry about. She definitely could have a hand like pocket 7s. We gave her that on the flop in the turn, so that would stink if she had that. But I kind of just really think she has some kind of ace X combo, like an ace queen or an ace jack or something. So I'm hoping that she just kind of thinks that we're full of it and just bad shoving the river, and maybe she'll hero call us down with a hand like ace queen. It'd be pretty hard for her to fold a hand like ace queen, and she also could have ace king. Maybe it's a tournament, and maybe she didn't want to gamble with that many chips pre-flop with that. So I think that shoving is the best option, so that is what we do. And she calls with 6-4 suited, which I didn't think she'd be opening that in that position and calling a 3-bet. So I was a little surprised by that, but we won a nice pot there. So that is it for today. I hope you guys learned something, and I'll see you on the next one.
She shows up with the old 6-4. Holy shit.
Yeah, like I literally put like 0 6s in her range, so there's that.
Yeah, I mean, there's if they don't have 6-5 and 6-7, it's 6-8's very uncommon. Nobody's really calling 3-bets with 6-9. So yeah. All right.
Oh, by the way, I
Yeah,
lost
she
a
shouldn't even be
30%
opening
backer
these
when I
hands,
only got 6 points for the call.
You got 6 points for the call?
I got 6 points for the call, and I lost my 30% backer for the
for being wrong. It's a bad day. It's a bad day to be Toe.
Interesting.
Cash game time, right?
Cash game time it is. All
I miss playing cash games, man. Jeez. I miss live cash so much. All right, there we go. All right. Any of you guys want to pick? Evan, you see anything out there that catches your eye?
I haven't tried any of Tristan Waite's before.
I was just thinking that earlier.
I think
Got a
it'd be cool
chance.
to try one of his.
Sure. 851.
Got 851. Had a chance to meet him in Vegas when we were just out there. Man, he's a cool dude,
Super
man.
nice guy.
Super nice guy, yeah. All right, let's do it. 851 it is.
What's
What's up, PokerCoaching.com members? Tristan Wade here
Much better
with
line.
another poker quiz. This comes from 2-5 No Limit Hold'em. I open under the gun +1 with 9-10 of spades. A good reg who has me covered in position, 3 bets to 60. And action folds back to me. What should I do? What should you do? Should you fold? Should you call? Or should you re-raise to some amount?
Too many volumes.
Re-raised to some amount. This guy.
We are 400 blinds deep.
I
This
miss
is
it.
a deep game. Is this at the Win? The Nation, maybe.
I know he says he lives out there now and he
does
plays
live
out there all the time. Or he used to play out there all the time, but
Calls are streaming through my chat.
yeah, we're just seeing calls here. Ooh, Uncle Slacker says make it 150.
Oh, he's not playing
It's
around.
because Uncle Slacker's just a super boss.
Yeah, just a boss.
He
boss.
can get away with that stuff because his table image is just so good that everyone's going to run for the...
Mendo's
It's
four
so-
betting.
Mendo's 4 betting as well.
Tom Mendo, just for the record, we opened this to $15, got 3 bet to $60. So your raises are 4 bets. Just to make sure you guys are, because you said 3 bet there, Tom.
Yeah,
Call,
it's
call,
the
call, call, call. Drugs calls, Ian calls, T-chip calls, everybody calls. Call, 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 call. Call, call, call. Name, I'm calling, right? Good implied odds. Hand flops pretty well.
Yeah, I mean,
If we fold, there's no more quiz.
Yeah, there's no quiz if we fold. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I mean, to being this deep in cash with this hand, my experience, which isn't the greatest in the world, but I mean, this would be pretty easy call. Wouldn't be raising here, even this deep, putting in 150. Doesn't sound terrible, honestly. 180, I'd probably, if I am going to raise, I might go a bit bigger, but yeah, I'd certainly probably just be calling here.
Cool. Comments, questions, anything else, Evan? We miss anything? You're a resident cash game player.
I think y'all pretty much nailed it for the pre-flop there.
Yeah, pre-flop is pretty easy here. I think we just call a lot. We have a hand that plays extremely well. If you want to be a maniac and, 4-bet, I guess it's not the end of the world or the worst thing ever if we think this guy is aggro, good reg, that'll overfold some strong hands when we 4-bet, but I'm probably just going to call here.
Yeah, I agree. I think 4-betting's got to be better than folding, but I think calling here is just going to be the play, right?
Yep, agree.
We're so deep. We're trying to look for situations where we can try to stack people. So
Yeah.
4-betting to try to protect this small pot is not really accomplishing much, especially with no blocker.
Yeah.
All right, snap
Let's do
calling.
it.
Let's do it.
So if you picked call here, you're absolutely correct.
Okay.
I don't think that we have a good candidate to 4-bet bluff. We don't block any very strong top of range hands like aces, kings, ace king, or queens. So this is just a spot where we'd want to be calling with a lot of our range, all of our suited connected hands, all of our suited broadways. If we were to 4-bet as a bluff, I'd like to have some suited aces, maybe some suited kings, maybe a hand like king, queen offsuit or something. But this hand should just play purely as a call. And we get a pretty decent flop for our hand, queen, queen, 6. We flop a flush draw. And I'm going to be checking my whole range here after getting 3-bet. I do check, and this good reg now bets a pretty small 35. What should we do now? Should we fold? Should we call? Or should we raise?
All right, guys. Shout out to Tristan there. I don't have to mute anything.
I know, I love it.
Volume
Voice
is
is
good.
nice, loud, solid audio. Let's go.
Jeff Jam coming out with the smooth call. Anybody know why they call it a smooth call versus any other kind of call?
Versus a rough call?
Yeah, just any other kind of call. I just always thought that was kind of funny. Call is giving us great odds. Call from Drug. Call from Ginger.
Yeah, nobody's check raising. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we can. I'm probably just calling. But he gives us a great price, right? We're getting, 4-1?
Yeah.
So, yeah. With the flush draw, we don't have to bloat this out of position. Plus, if we raise this and he comes back over the top, you're going to be pissed to just fold this much equity. So, yeah, I just want to call here. personally. Ooh, I'm seeing a couple raises though. BQ's raising, Holy's raising, Drider's raising. Okay.
It beats its
Anybody in
call,
this
but
group
only with
raising?
dollar chips just to piss the dude off.
Yeah, just stack some ones. 35
I mean,
is
it's
a
kind of a weird
weak
spot. You
bet.
can get out of line here and get a lot of his like any paint or ace highs here to fold a lot, which are beating you now, which is good. Like you said, though, you have such good equity. Ah,
Yeah.
Ginger Googled it. Google says the smooth call tactic refers to when you bid on a strong hand as if it were a mediocre one. Calling opponent's bets when the standard 3 says you should be raising. In order to trick your opponent. Oh, so basically slow playing is a smooth call.
Ah.
I didn't realize there was a difference. Son of a bitch.
I didn't either, but that makes sense.
All right.
Yeah, I agree with you guys on just calling in this situation, but here's something where I think about later streets in this spot, and I call here because there's going to be a bunch of turn cards that I'm going to want to check raise. Just turn it into a bluff because it's going to be really difficult to check call on the turn, and actually pretty bad to check call on the turn out of position because it's really difficult to win the pot later or get value when we get there.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely like just calling here. And then the thing that it opens up for us is when he checks back the turn, it opens up the ability for us to bluff a lot of rivers too. So not only is calling better because we can check raise some turns, but also we get to bluff rivers when he gives up and we don't get the opportunity to check raise.
What are some good cards that you're going to check raise the turn with, and what are some bad cards that you're going to avoid check raising the turn with?
Okay,
You beat
so
me to it. Yeah.
I probably won't be check raising King X or Ace X. Maybe the Ace or maybe I think even the Spade versions I would just go for another check call. Just because we're going to be running into some full houses and we're going to want to protect and just be bluff catching with our flush when it's an Ace or a King. So yeah, definitely like probably check folding to a non-spade Ace or King, check calling to a spade Ace or King, check raising all of our non-spade 7, 8s, jacks.
Pick up equity, even more equity.
I like it.
Yeah, stuff like that. I think even actually, I think I probably would check raise all of the 5, 4, 3, 2s also though.
Ooh.
Except for the spades. I think all spades I would just go for check calls.
I like
You
that a
know,
lot.
and that means we don't have a lot of value in our range here. Although we still do because we're still going to have some Queen X and some boats that we can check raise here occasionally. But yeah. So I think I'm just check raising everything except for an Ace or a King, to be honest. Every non-spade below Ace and King, and just yep.
So I mean, if he goes 2/3 or near pot on a turn, are you still check raising those same cards?
So let's take a look. That's a good question. So let me just kind of look at this. So he has 481 minus the 35, right?
No, I think it's got.
No, those are big
behind.
blinds. So he has 2,400
minus $35. So then let's take a look at what the stacked to pot would be. So there'd be 70 more, so like 200 in the pot, and he'd have 2,100. Yeah, I mean no, yeah. If he bet 200, I think I would just make it like 450 or 500. Just go for like a smallish check raise because we can still rep a bunch of full houses out of position and Queen X, and he really can't continue that well without like aces, kings, or Queen X. Like he's got to be thinking about folding a bunch of his like 2-pair hands.
And the sexy thing, the small check raise on the turn just looks so strong.
It's so nutted, you know. Like nobody's doing that as a bluff, or very few people are. So it's put you in a really awful spot when you're the guy double barreling, you know.
I really like all of that.
Especially this deep as well. Like we have a lot of maneuverability to make that play, and it's tough on him when he does have to make a decision on turn because he has to think, "Damn, I get check raised here," and he still can just bet into me on river. So he's probably gonna be overfolding, even some hands like maybe even Jackson, some hands that are a real tough spot, man. Like
agree.
Agree.
You with us, Evan?
I'm with you. It sounds like SnostNLost just has the Pio solver right in his mind there. He's breaking down the whole range.
He's just a rec player. Don't give him too much
already.
credit. Yeah, he's just a rec player. Come on.
Evan's just sitting back right now and playing Flavor Flav. Just yeah, boy. Just agree. He's the hype man. All right, we're calling. Let's go. Oh,
If you picked raise, I love it. Calling here
Whoa.
isn't awful, but I just think that we want
Sorry.
to take the advantage back
Well.
from our opponent betting, and we want to start
Oh.
giving a little story being told about our range. And if we did just check call here, what do we do when we brick the turn and we're facing a bet? I just think we kind of get in an awkward spot playing this hand out of position. And by raising, we get to put our opponent in a tough spot if they don't have a queen or if they just don't have any hand in the top of their range. So I prefer a raise here in this spot, and that's exactly what I did. There was 150 in the pot. I raised to 140. So notice my sizing here. I'm not going like very small, like 115 or anything like that. We're deep. I'm trying to build a pot right now and try to tell a story, and I'm trying to put some money into the pot. And I'll get more information from my opponent by putting in more money than I would if I just made a small raise. Hopefully this deters my opponent from just floating me out of position. And I'm faced with a re-raise to 400. So what should you do now? Should you fold? Should you call? Or should you go all in?
This is why we like Snost line better. I think Snost had answers to Tristan. If you want, I'm sorry, Snost. If you want Tristan's number, let me know. I can get you guys in touch. You can talk to him.
Yeah. He's like, I don't know what to do on the turn. I'm like, ooh, Snosh. Yeah, I like the turn.
This is what you do on the 4. This is what you do on the 2. This is what you do on the ace.
Yep.
All broken down.
Snost's got a nail.
All right. Well, we put ourselves in a fun spot now. All right, chat. What are we doing? Damn, Drinning's going all in Kappa.
Everyone's pissing and moaning in my chat.
Fold, fold, fold.
No.
Call.
Yeah. Go grab pizza, sip some Red Bull, and fold. Uncle Slacker. Come on.
What are pot odds here to call? So it is roughly 300. What's the total pot?
260
667
into 930 once you add in the call. You just do 25 into 9.
It is not a fold, guys. I'm sorry. I, like my chat, I'm seeing a ton of folds here. I don't think we're folding this, but I mean to let the cat out of the bag. I was just seeing too many folds and it was tilting me. Stop. No, we're not. I don't think we fold here. We have to at least call one, getting this price right, 3-1.
Yeah, especially because he's not gonna really have a full house here ever.
Yeah, he does have a full house. We should be live, and I think even when we raise, he probably doesn't use his nut flush draws or his spade draws to come over the top a lot. So he can have queens and over pairs, but I don't think he has a better flush draw or a flush draw too often when he takes this line, giving my flush draw even more of a reason to call while getting 3-1.
Yeah. Spot on.
Yeah, I just don't see how we can fold here.
Yeah. It kind of sucks, though, because now we've played ourselves into a situation where we just have to check fold all the turns that aren't a spade.
Exactly. Yeah, I'd prefer to just call and not be... Because when we check raise here, I mean, he still could have some queen X behind. Over pairs that could put us in tough spots. I mean, if he's a good reg, he can just raise, just thinking we're just check raising too light or we'd be calling too many queen X. But yeah, I just think we have to call, boys. Cho, you doing anything else? You folding or jamming or anything?
I just hate being in these spots in general. That's why I would call on the flop. And I love Snost play so much. I just cringe, but I guess it's the math, right? We're getting the odds. We call.
Yeah. I mean, would lose my mind if he says, I'm going all in here, boys. This is it.
But, he's going to say, if you chose all in, I love it.
Yeah, that's what he would say. That's how he sounds as well.
Papa's thank you for 30 months. All them fucking huge, monstrous subs this day. All right, cool. Let's call. So what happens.
If you picked call, I think that's the best play here in this spot. We definitely don't want to put in another bet on the flop. If we did go all in, I think it's likely that we only get called when we're crushed, and that would be by queen X, by maybe some aces or kings that just aren't going to fold, and then by all these other like flush combinations that have us beat. Ace jack of spades, ace king of spades, maybe even have some ace X of spades in there. So I really don't think there's anything we can do other than call. There could be some bluffs in my opponent's range as well for us to check raise a flop and then get re-raised. I feel like they might just think we don't have a queen all the time playing like this. So, yeah, sometimes we're going to be getting bluffed in this spot too. So we want to continue with our equity. Hopefully we have a spade, a 9, or a 10 that we can hit. And we just want to get more information playing this deep in a big cash game. So the turn is a good card for us. It now gives us a double gut shot. So a jack or a 7 improves us. And like I said, with my range now, I'm just going to be checking when I am not the aggressor. And our opponent checks.
Ooh.
So that was an interesting spot. If our opponent had bet some amount, like 400, 500, 600, maybe this would have been a great spot for us to move all in, since they could have some bluffs in their range for re-raising the flop, and we could comfortably represent like a strong queen, like queen king or ace queen, with all the outs that we do have. But that didn't happen. It went check check. So I just want to say, what does that say about this good reg's range? What hands would they play that strong on the flop to put in 3 bets and then check?
Mhm.
Could they be disguising a hand like ace queen and trying to play it real tricky? Who knows? And on the
Nope.
river, we make
Nope.
the straight, which is most likely the nuts, but we're not sure. And I want to know, what should you do here now? Should you check? Should you bet 400 or should you bet 800?
All right, guys. Checks the turn, which is definitely informative. And once again, we picked the river in some sort of way. What do you guys think out there?
This is the second gut shot 7 we hit in 2 quizzes. So let's go.
We're running good today.
And
Check
running
says,
good.
bet 400, let him raise you.
Ooh, somebody says check raise.
Check call.
800, 800, 800. I am conflicted. This is interesting.
Yeah, do we think he's checking back most of his queen X on turn, or do we think he's continuing to bet with queen X on turn?
I would say probably bets when we call the flop bet.
Yeah.
Thank you for those biddies, Ali. Good morning, good afternoon. Thank you.
Check raise is kind of sexy.
She starts says bet all
I
in.
know.
So you're jamming $1,540 into a 927 pot. Twice pot.
You know what? Let me see. I'm gonna give the chat another second. I think I know what I'm doing here.
400, 800, check. I got like all of them. I think it was pocket controlling turn, check call when he bets within value, big pairs. I think he checks back the river a ton.
I tell you what. I think a good reg with no showdown value is, if he does somehow have a better flush draw, he's going to feel like the need to bluff those, and he might just overvalue some hands, stab some hands if he did make a play with like ace king, and if he has a queen that played it tricky, he's going to bet those. I think he's going to have a lot of bets in his range in this spot, and I kind of want to check raise. By going 800, maybe he did just raise like aces or kings or something like that on the flop, and now he wants to try to maybe get the showdown, doesn't think he's going to get too much value from worse, and now he would just check call a big bet on the river when spades miss. So I'm either going 800 or check, and I kind of want to check raise, but maybe it's too ambitious to think he's going to actually bet,
Yeah, I mean, I'm leaning toward 800 because I think we block a lot of the spades, so I think while he does have some spade draws that may bluff this river, they're condensed a little bit. I just feel like he's checking back the river a ton.
With aces and kings and shit, you don't think those those don't get called by too much worse than the river. Damn, I'm very conflicted here, man.
Ali, thank you for the 100 bits.
I think at the casino I play at, this would be a bet for sure, because at Niagara Falls, people do not value bet thin. But based on the stacks, I'm really thinking this is a winter Venetian where the game's played pretty aggressive. And I'm liking what Sixes was saying about checking and going for a check raise here.
So I have some different thoughts about this. And my thought on the turn when he checked back immediately before we saw the river was, I'm going to jam all rivers that are not an ace or a king. Yeah. So when he checks back, he's going to have a lot of like ace, king in his range that he was like, thinking we're not going to have too much Queen X, and he was trying to protect a little against flush draws and raising, he's also going to have just a shit ton of give ups. And it's really difficult for him to rep a value hand on the river when he gives up on the turn after going for a 3-bet on the flop, right? So it's difficult for him to actually have any bluffs on the river. And I don't really think he's going to do too much thin value betting and just be protecting against our weakish queens that we open. So I think we're just going to expect a lot of check backs from him. But if he does have a hand like aces or kings, he's definitely going to bluff catch with those hands, right? Mm-hmm. So that's why I like all in with on all rivers except for an ace or a king, because I think that we might be able to get him to fold those sometimes for that big of a bet. But also, like, you know, occasionally we're going to have a value hand in there, and when we hit a 7 or a jack or a spade, it makes it a good opportunity for us to have the value part of our range on our jams on the river. So me personally, I'd click the fourth button, which says all in, but because we only have 3, I'll just bet 800 here and try to get paid by those aces and kings. And know he's going to fold ace king and ace jack and ace 10, but he's checking those hands back anyway.
Yeah, I mean, the only hope would be he would just find a bet with the Queen X, a bluff. And it feels like you said on the flop, it feels like he is going to use aces and kings and maybe jacks or some of those hands as a raise. And when we call, just immediately try to get to showdown, realizing he can't get value from too much worse, you know, on the river. So, yeah, I can see that. And maybe he does check back too much. I just would wonder if a good reg would have some bluffs, you know, or he would have some stabs, or he would have some tricky played queens. So I'm kind of hedging on him maybe taking some of that range and doing something a little awkward by being a good player. Not awkward, but as good as in stabbing or good as in betting more thinly with for value. But when spades miss, when we go big, you know, it's kind of polarizing. They miss, so we can get called pretty light as well. So interesting.
So the only thing I would say about that is, like, when we check raise on the flop and then he re-raises us back, if he's doing that with a queen, we would anticipate he's trying to get us to get it in with a flush draw or get a bunch of chips in with a flush draw. But then it kind of like, it would be weird for him to then try and get tricky on the turn with a queen, because for him, he would think like, well, I want to keep exploiting this flush draw. I got to get some more chips in. So why would he give us another free card if he actually did have a queen and was trying to exploit our flush draw here, right? So to me, it's like he has just a lot of bullshit when he raises us back on the flop, or he has a hand like that he's trying to protect against the flush draw. It really leans towards, I guess the more I think about it, maybe a check is. Now I'm just talking myself into all kinds of shit.
That's where I'm at.
The more I think about it, the more it's like, man, if he actually had a hand he was protecting against a flush draw, it would seem like he'd bet again on the turn. But then again, I don't know, maybe he had freaking pocket eights on the flop and then turned a boat and decided to like try to let us get there with our flush on the river. That's a possibility too. I don't know. I'm overthinking it. I'm just gonna go with my original shit. We'll bet 800 and whatever.
Evan, what do you think?
I love it.
Yeah.
What are you doing here, Toe?
I'm betting 800 for sure. I think he checks back a lot. And I think we get a value from all those hands that we talked about. I think that his queens probably bet the turn to protect themselves. I think he's got a lot of underpairs or maybe aces and kings. That we get value from him when he checks the turn. I feel like he checks the river a lot. I don't think he goes 3-bet, check bet very much.
See, I didn't think he would 3-bet the flop with his pocket pairs. I thought he would be 3-betting the flop with Queen X and a lot of bluffs, really.
So that means you would check the river expecting him to bluff because you're not getting called by anything?
Yeah, I think there are more hands in the way I see his range shaping up going into the river. I think the value hands are betting a similar size to the 800, which is the size I would choose if I'm betting. But I think there are some bluffs in there that may bet. I think there are more bluffs that will bet than there are marginal hands that will call a bet. I just don't think those are 3-betting the flop, but I could be misjudging how he's playing his range on the flop because I can't look at the guy and get a feel for his style, right?
So note for next time, we have to make sure we have at least 5 coaches on this stream because now we're tied. We need a tiebreaker.
Yeah, I'm gonna go check. It could be a very low score for check, but I would try to get nasty in this spot if it was me. If I felt like this guy was, yeah, like Evan said, I want to be able to see this guy. Is he itching to like make a play here? Bet. Do I feel like he's weak and needs to stab, or do I feel like he's gonna check back and wants to get the showdown? But yeah, I'm gonna try checking and check raising.
Cool. Let's see what happens.
Yep.
So this
Super
is
close.
a very tempting spot to bet, right? Because the flop,
Let's go!
3 bets, the turn went check, and usually with the line of checking, we would just want to be betting our value hands. But I think this is a great spot to check.
Get nasty.
And why is that? Because of our opponent's range. I think if someone has a queen, they're always going to be betting the river. I think if they have aces or kings or maybe even jacks, there's a chance that they could bet the river for value too.
Mm-hmm.
With them checking back the turn, I just don't think we're going to see a lot of those very strong hands. And even with some better missed spades, like ace x of spades, king jack of spades here, or some type of hand, maybe we see this reg bluff. So that's why I prefer a check here. We kind of backed into a very disguised hand, and I just think we're going to get the most value from checking if we bet. It's very hard for us to get called. Maybe aces and kings are calling us, and obviously queen X, but some of those hands are going to be betting, so that's why I prefer the check.
Yes.
And we do see a bet from our opponent, a bet about 2/3 of pot. And I want to know, what should we be doing now? Should we fold? Should we call? Or should we go all in?
Betting 800 was 8 points. Super close, guys. Super
Oh, it was
close.
8 points. Okay. I was wondering.
Now the question is, do we call? Do we raise? Do we fold because he has a boat? What do you think? Snap jams, beats.
We checked so that we could check raise all that. We didn't check call.
We didn't
Watch
check.
Jason be right. He turned 8s.
Yeah, like honestly, I don't think he's gonna have many bet calls here. So when he does, it's just I think we're effed. You know?
Ace queen.
Yeah, we just have to call.
I just think he bets ace queen again on the turn. Like, why would he check that on the turn?
Yeah.
You know? So it's like, to me, it's like he has a full house, like 6 is full, 8's full, 7's full, or he just has like king jack of spades or ace jack of spades or whatever that he decided to play soft on the turn. So to me, it's a call, but I mean, I can't hate too much getting it in with a straight here. I just maybe we're really lucky and he has aces that he for some reason can't fold.
I agree with Snost again. Like he's a smart guy.
You're just calling here? Nah, I'm jamming.
I just again don't see much that we're getting called by aces and kings, maybe jacks.
No, we're not getting. I mean,
sixes. We're such degens. We just want to squeeze that.
I do. I'm just
going
gonna
time for the feeling.
Yeah,
if I call here and he has ace queen, I'm gonna have to take a tilt walk around the casino. Like, even though I win a pot, I'm taking a tilt walk. Like, if I don't make this extra 1,300, like I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah,
I'm just jamming. Yeah.
I have no idea what this guy's about to do because I've been wrong every street since pre-flop. So
that's why you play tournaments.
I love it. Your rec flag is showing. Come on now.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. I'm teasing you. I'm teasing.
All right, we got 2 jams and 2 calls, and then a bunch of jams in my chat.
Yeah, I need money. I'm jamming.
I mean, I would call, but I fucked that up last quiz, so now I'm all like, do it for the points.
I know what I'm doing. What's up, chat? What are we doing? All in, all in, all in. We got all shoves. The sixes mafia is jamming. I love it.
Yeah, the whole army's jamming too, except for me.
Is this the 2-6 mafia?
The 6-6 mafia over here. Nobody folding in here. Hell no.
No.
You get a 0 for a fold.
If you fold, I don't even know. What are you doing with your life?
Exactly. You put all this money in and just to fold on the river. Aye. All right, we're jamming. You guys call in? Let's do it. Let's see what happens.
I know I would call, but I'm gonna jam because I effed it up on the last quiz. But I would call. I ain't gonna front.
All right, let's go.
And if you said go all in, you're absolutely right. We basically just have a hammer lock on this hand. If we somehow run into some full house here randomly. Oh well. I just don't think that we're going to see too many middling pocket pairs in someone's 3-bet range, 6s, 8s, or 7s in any sense.
Good point.
So,
That
and
is
I
a
just
good
don't think
point.
we're going to see quads play their hand that fast on the flop to put in another bet. So it's just really easy for us to move all in here. We likely have the best hand, and we can get value from aces or kings, or like I said, if this was some trappy kind of ace-queen or king-queen that decided to be really tricky and check the turn, well, hey, guess what? It's going to be very hard for them to fold here. So don't need to worry about it being a paired board after distinguishing this person's range. I think we're pretty comfortable to get all in here, and I do shove, and we get a fold.
Get
I
paid.
hope you learned a little bit in this hand, in this quiz, playing this deep. What a great hand we had, and what a great run out. And it's
This
likely
sack.
that this reg was just bluffing, and we got a little extra value from checking the river.
Fun hand. There was a couple of good fun quizzes. Like we went deep in a couple. The aces one, this one. This was fun.
Whew. We're on fire today, boys. Let's go. We
Big
got
GoPro
one wrong.
says, I
It's
think
our
I'm
second
learning.
wrong all day.
It's good. It's good. Ever improving, right? Ever improving.
All right, it is 2:00. What are you guys thinking?
Me personally, I'm probably gonna get some sunshine.
That still exists. I don't know people do that, given the current state of the world.
I got past my 14-day quarantine. I'm allowed to go for walks as long as I stay very far away from everybody.
Are you sick?
Which no, I was not
like,
sick at all.
Jesus,
But I
thought
tried. I was in Bahamas when all this stuff kind of went down. So unfortunately, when they made me come home early from my trip. But
yeah, because otherwise you get trapped, right? Like Jesus.
Yeah, and it's better to be trapped at home, being able to live stream and hang out with good people, than to be on Bahamas.
No, but if you're trapped in the
It's
Bahamas,
close.
how expensive
It's
is that?
close,
I've been
but
to the
it's better to be
Bahamas.
here.
Those conch fritters aren't cheap.
Yeah.
I played at the PCA. Cool. I guess we're wrapping it up. Exclamation point PC in my chat, exclamation point PC in Six's chat for a link to this pokercoaching.com website where Six is myself, Evan, Tristan Wade, like you saw, Alexa Gavin, Jonathan Little. The list is getting too long to just list them all, right? Austin Vago, Matt Affleck, all these crushers, all on the site, giving content for you. We got quizzes like this. There's homeworks. There's big blind charts. There's staking opportunities. Exclamation point PC in the chats to at least sign up free. You get 20 free quizzes, homeworks, big blind charts, over 100 people. So at least get the free stuff, guys. What are you doing? If you want to sign up for premium, there's great content out there for you. Also, I record all these for the YouTube channel. So if you missed this one or any other one we've ever done, they are on the YouTube channel. Feel free to watch that. Make a comment. Let me know if you have comments for Snost or Evan or any of the other guests that we've had. Let me know. I talk to these guys all the time. I will get your questions to them and get your responses. And that's it. Make sure you follow me. Make sure you follow Sixes. Make sure you follow SnostNLost. I'll put all those links in the chat in a second. Ian's already on it. Thank you, Ian. Make sure you give follows all the way around. All of us streaming all the time, except for Snost, who's streaming some of the time. So,
Jared,
that's it. Yeah.
what's your guys' game plan tomorrow? Are you guys both going to be streaming in the evening?
I'm probably going to force myself to stream because I've been like 20 tabling every day with this current state of the poker world, and so I have not been streaming very much.
Yeah.
So I'll probably start. I got to look at see what time this is, either 10 or 11 Pacific, and then go till 10 or 11 at night.
Yeah, we're streaming tomorrow. We're winning majors tomorrow. That's what we're doing. We're just shipping shit all day tomorrow. That's it.
That's the goal.
Yep.
I don't need to ship all of it. I just want to ship one really good one.
Oh, we're going deep in everything. I can't wait. You playing tomorrow? You streaming, Evan? Is that why you asked?
Yeah, well, I'm just going to be hosting the home games tomorrow. I'm doing it light.
Oh, yeah.
I got invited to this online poker league thing. It's very super like small stake stuff, but I'm just going to hang out with the boys and probably finish early. So that's what I wanted to know if you guys were going to be on, because I can probably drop by after I'm done with my stuff.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I'll be online all day. I've learned that too. Like, if I start playing early and don't click start stream right away, I generally don't stream. So I'm going to hit it from the start and get going.
Yeah.
Any parting words, guys? Snost, you have anything you want to part with for the community? We appreciate having you on, man. It was good. Still got a big poker brain. That was fun.
Yeah, no, I just want to say thanks for having me. I always enjoy doing stuff like this. I check in with you guys every I probably 2 out of the 4 Saturdays a month I lurk and hang out with you guys and watch you guys do this, and I love the stream. So I was glad to hop on and be a part of this. Awesome.
It was great,
Yeah,
man. You
thank you
gave a
again,
lot of
man.
great insight. I actually learned quite a bit from you today, so I appreciate you. Thank you for coming. Evan, you too. Thanks for, I mean, you jumped in on this on yourself. We appreciate you. You enjoyed it so much that you came back. We're
You're
happy to
welcome
have
back
you
anytime, man. You're
anytime.
welcome back anytime. Both of you
Thanks,
guys,
guys.
we would love to have you guys on again in the future. We have no plans on stopping doing this. And it's only going to get bigger, better. And yeah, man, we really appreciate it. Evan, you have anything you want to part with? I know he mentioned home games tomorrow for all you guys to play in the home games. He's got a special little promotion going on. So if he wants to explain that again for the people who missed it at the beginning of the call.
Okay. Yeah, sure. So at 2 o'clock Eastern, I have a $6 six max game, which is part of a league, and the winner of that game moves to the finals, which has 12 players, and the winner of the finals gets a Venom ticket. So it's kind of sweet $6 satellite. And for people with smaller bankrolls, I have a $1.65 home game at 6 p.m. Eastern, which was actually provided by Jason. He's the one who made that happen. So thank you. And I just want to say thanks, guys, for having us on. Love what you guys are doing. Love the consistency, and love that you're doing it every week. You guys are dedicated, consistent, doing great work, helping everybody learn for free. I think it's fantastic, and I'm just really grateful that I got to come be a part of it again. It's a nice thing to do on a Saturday afternoon. Thank you.
Absolutely, man. All right, well, Toe, I think I'll kick it off to you. I took it last week. I'm going to kick off the host over to Toe. Make sure to give him a follow. I also threw Evan's Twitch out there, so you guys can give him a follow as well. Provides a lot of great content, so you guys should definitely check him out. And yeah, we really appreciate you guys again. I'm gonna get out of here, rest up for tomorrow, and yeah, man, another great study session, guys. Thank you guys again.
Cool. Yeah, I'll have links to how to join the Stormers, links to how to get one-on-one coaching from Evan, links to all sorts of stuff in the YouTube channel description. So if you want to get any of that, I know Evan offers some awesome one-on-one coaching as well. And Snost, are you still doing one-on-one coaching?
I keep
That's a
getting
no.
people who want to, but no, not so much anymore.
All right, cool.
I'm just so busy. It's just so difficult to like fit it in.
Sure.
I love doing it. I do, but it's just not really.
I mean, that's kind of why I do the group coaching thing, because one-on-ones just it's easier to get a bunch of people in 1 hour, knock them out, than to do individual hours all over the time. Time is precious.
Yeah, we've been doing some coaching lately. We've had a few students, and yeah, I mean, putting together the sessions and then a couple hours out of the day. It's a lot, but yeah, I love it. It's a good time. It's a good time.
Cool. Mad Dog, thank you for the 31 months. Cool. Come on over, guys. I will run the $10 giveaway. Thank you guys again for hanging out, and that's it. See you later.
All right. Yep. I'm gonna kick that over. Take care, guys. Well, I'll be in touch with you guys, of course. Peace out.
See ya.
Peace out.
Yep.
All right, guys, now that they are gone, I am going to set up the giveaway right now. PC.com, poker coaching giveaway. Here you go. It's going to be free, 0 tickets, so in 100 max. So exclamation point tickets, or exclamation point ticket space max is the magic command. You'll see a bunch of them streaming through chat. We're going to create that son bitch and let it run and figure out who we're going to host. Meanwhile, Mrs. Toe in the chat with the hearts. What's up, baby? Love Mrs. Toe emote. It's funny, right? Looks just like her. Looks just like her. Slim Fit baby coming in. What's up? What's up? What's up? Tigga, what's up? Doing really well, man. Doing really, really well. Thank you for asking. Hope you're doing well too. Like I said, we've just been playing a lot. And then I end up playing, and then I have 20 tables, and then it's time to start stream, and I'm like, should I have too many tables? And you guys know I've been playing, all the big buy-ins, 1.9s and 2.15s, 6.40s and all that. And so I've been not streaming as much. So I will definitely get better as time goes on the streaming. Ticketmax is flying through the chat. 6 is coming in for the host. Thank you, my man. Even Drugs wants his $10. He says, hi, Mom.
Ticket Max. We'll give you guys some time right now. We got 25 people snap entering the giveaway. All of them with the max tickets there. What are we going to throw the host to today, guys? Oops. What are we going to throw the host to today? While you guys are all getting into the giveaway. Who we doing? Trending coming in last. Until I got worried about you last week. You never answered my text. I sent the message to the. So I've been playing so much. I've had 3 days off in 5 weeks. I've been playing so much that poor Jeff got worried about me and had to call my wife to find out if I was okay. Turns out we just got sucked into the poker boom. It's all right. We're out here. Marlon was texting me yesterday. What the hell, man? I appreciate the love, guys. And I know that I've been missed, and I've been missing you. So it's funny. You know, it's nice to be loved, and it's nice to be, I don't know, it's nice to have such an awesome community where if I don't stream for a couple days, my text messages and my wife starts getting blown up. Awesome. How the bankroll over the recent grind? It's been a little break even. I've had a lot of fucking crazy almost. I took 11th in a WSOP circuit event with 30K up top. I took 8th in another WSOP circuit event with 50K up top. I took 19th in the 2750 50K on ACR. I took 12th in the 1650 50K, I think it was. So a bunch of almost, which is actually a pretty good sign. You know, we're just right there. So that's all recently. You can see recent scores too by typing in recent. I think that's pretty darn close. I think I'm missing 1 or 2 here. But pretty darn all scores over 1K over as long as Twitch will let me do it. All right, cool. I think we're done for the giveaway here. We've got 27 entries. We're closing it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, closing the giveaway. Drawing the winner. It is, drum rolls. Bang! It's Beats in the house. Beats, hit me up. Let me know your screen name on ACR. I will send you $10. Or if you want to PayPal, just hit me up and send me your email. Or if you want to come by my house, since you live about an hour away, I will hand it to you personally through the mail slot because cooties are going around. Let me know what you want. Deuterino, thank you for that resub, man. I almost missed it. 20 months. And there you go. All right, so I am going to definitely be streaming tomorrow, I promise. And I'll find out about today. I might load up. I'm feeling pretty good right now. I love playing after study sessions like this, too, because my brain is, like, going poker. I've also been really considering doing some no-delay streams, playing less tables and doing some no-delay streams. So let me know what you guys think about the no-delay, because I kind of really like this interaction that we have that's instant. I know you guys don't get to see the cards as much, and I'm going to have a little bit of a learning curve to put a card protector up and remove it. But something I've just been thinking about, just trying to change it up and spice it up and all that stuff. No delay, yes please, says Booth. All right. Jeff's in it too. James said something different, right? All right, Beats, I got your message. I will ship you the ACR momentarily. No delay, cool try, like it spicy. Yeah, I mean, we've literally been streaming for what? Over 3 years, and we've never, ever done a no-delay stream that wasn't a study stream? That could be fun. And then we could do cool things like, one thing I saw Evan do, which I thought was cool, was like, I can have you guys post hands in my Discord, and we can review them while we're playing. Justin likes how Grips does table delay, but he is not. Yeah, there are some weird situations where I may not be able to do that. I may. I may. There's some weird political reasons for that I can't really go into publicly. Not with Evan, but with the inventor of the no delay table versus or no delay talk versus the delay table. But I do think that's cool. I also got to figure out, like, I play so many tables that it's really hard to do that because I play, 9 to 15 tables at a time while streaming a lot. So I would have to cut it down. I don't know. I'm definitely open. I'm definitely open. And I know people that could hook me up with the no delay, no delay. Yeah, I know, Ali. That's why I've never done a no delay stream, because people like to see. People like to see the cards. It's going to be really good. And the one thing a lot of people do, and if you're a no delay streamer who does this, I'm not picking on you. I just threw this out randomly. But the people who have like the Aces card cover, that drives me crazy. I'm like, how did he fold a set here? What the hell's going on? So I have to put like a toe logo or something. Something good. All right, guys. Anyways, make sure you follow. Make sure you tune in. Noon Eastern, study session stream every Saturday. Me and Crazy Sixes for sure. And we've been taking guests the last few times. This time it was Evan and Snost. Last time it was Ben on Drew. Time before that it was Evan again. Time before that was Matt Affleck. We got friends in high places, and we're bringing them to you to get better for nothing. So make sure you check out that. Who are we throwing the host to, guys? Who are we throwing the damn host to? Let me refresh this. We should give it to... I don't want to give it to, like, some of the super big guys, like Spraggy and stuff. Those guys have enough viewers. Let's treat somebody. Let's treat somebody. If you guys have any suggestions out there, let me know. Because it is no fun watching me. Is Party live? I've got 5 friends in places. That counts. That does count. Ali, in today's day and age, and I live in a recreational state, I have 5 friends in a lot of places as well. It's a sign of the times. Damn it, I want to throw this party, but he's got a commercial and it's taking too long. So, enough of me dilly-dallying. I'm just going to pick a random. It is Komodo Dragon Jesus. So give him that love, guys. And I will see you in a little bit. Peace. What?